6:03 on December 18th, and I call this meeting of the Clear Creek Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called and that its notice has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. The first item on the agenda is our public hearings. The first item is Internet Safety Policy.
Okay, and our Internet Safety Policy hearing will be presented by Chief Technology Officer Dustin Harden. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to present to you all tonight and the public an overview of the district's internet safety measures. Some background and purpose of tonight revolves around the Child Internet Protection Act, also known as SIPA. SIPA has two major requirements, one of which is an internet safety policy, which Clear Creek ISD has embedded into our CQ Legal and CQ Local, and the other is a public notice to the constituents of our internet safety plans, which is why we're here. Besides being a federal requirement, if a district is not compliant with SIPA, it runs the risk of losing E-rate funding, and to ensure everyone understands the gravity of that, over the past 4 years, the E-rate program has provided districts over $8 million of technology funding through reimbursements and rebates. So we're going to start off tonight with a very wordy slide. Each one of the large bullet points represents the policy requirements outlined by SIPA, and below those are how CCISD adheres to each one of those requirements. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go over all of these. Some are very straightforward. I am going to highlight the first one, though, which is the most commonly known requirement, which is the internet filtering for adult and inappropriate content. So for all the students who ask why they can't get to their favorite websites, this is the law that requires us to do this. So to meet this first requirement, the district actually has two filters. One is a filter that sits on the student devices. So when the students are in the classroom, at Starbucks, at home, they are properly filtered. They cannot get to inappropriate or adult content. We have another filter on the firewall. So if the students bring devices to the district or they're on their cell phones, or parents come in, they're also properly filtered. They can't get to anything either. Both of those allow us to be compliant with that requirement. Again, the rest of these, if you have any questions of them, please let me know, but they're relatively straightforward requirements. We did want to pull out one requirement, which is the digital citizenship component. SIPA does require us to educate our students. At the bottom of this slide, you can see 3 different grade level lessons. These lessons are examples of the district provided specific digital learning, digital citizenship that teachers have access to via Canvas. They then can take these and embed them into their curriculum throughout the year. These are created and updated for all grade levels by our Learning Technology Department. As you can see on the middle one for 7th grade, Lesson 8, that is for artificial intelligence. So these are very, very up to date. So everything I've gone over so far are the SIPA requirements that we have to do. We wanted to also highlight some of the things that we go above and beyond at Clear Creek to ensure that we take all the internet, cyber, and student safety very seriously. The first of which are these self-harm alerts. So we actually have an agent on all of our devices that monitor for keywords. And if the system catches these keywords, it takes a quick screenshot of that, of what the student was doing, and sends it to the district, the campus administrators, and the district counseling department. Most of these are false positives, if it looks like it might be a self-harm. Usually students are in a Word document typing song lyrics, for example. We did have an incident this year that was not a false positive. But at the very bottom is an excerpt from an email from a campus administrator. The student was notified the campus administration that there was an alert. They looked into it. They did a suicide screener. There was a high risk. Called the student in. The student was actively Googling ways to self-harm because they did not know how to do so. The campus administration was amazing, intervened, student family were contacted, and everything is fine. So definitely a heavier topic, but just another way that we're going above and beyond what we can do for technology. In addition, the district does a very unique and collaborative software approval and website vetting process. Those departments below, learning technology, curriculum instruction, cybersecurity, information management, and purchasing work together every time a campus wants to purchase a device, a piece of software, ensuring that the curriculum is the content of the software is aligned to curriculum and district goals and is appropriate for the grade level, making sure that the privacy policies are reviewed, terms and conditions are reviewed. If data imports and exports are required, making sure that those are properly done. And for the purchasing, our best friend, Linda Bertram, ensures that the contracts are signed and the data privacies are signed. Many districts do not have a process like this in place. I was actually emailed by a district last week asking, what do we do? Because our processes are very unique. And lastly, we just wanted to kind of highlight some of the additional cybersecurity measures that we have. I'm not going to go over all of these, but I did just want to say that many districts across the United States have these things on their 5-year plans if they're even able to get them done at all. We have almost all of these already implemented, and the few things that aren't will be taken care of through the passage of Bond 2023. And that is it. Do y'all have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Harden. Any questions from the board?
I have one.
Ms. Shepherd?
So when you were saying the lessons that the students do in the classroom, so for the middle school and high school, what classes does that happen in?
It's up to the campus to how they provide those. So it's a campus-based decision.
Mr. Bone?
Yeah, Scott Bowen. So I was wondering, I guess, are we responding and are we kind of updating how we teach students about how to use social media? Because I know just that everything I've seen about teenagers, especially interacting with modern social media, is that it has been harmful to their mental health, and really there are almost no upsides. And so, I mean, do we block it on our devices? Do we block it through the campus networks? How are we handling that?
We at Clear Creek ISD have blocked social media. Whenever everyone thinks about a filter, you think of very inappropriate material. We block what we call adult content. Take Pinterest, for example. Pinterest, unfortunately, does not adhere to the same policies that we do. Because they're relaxed on their policy, you can see adult content on there, so we have to define it as that, and it is blocked. As far as the lessons go, again, cyberbullying, digital drama, digital footprint and identity, those are all part of the lessons that we have for teachers to provide the students.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Bone. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, I did want to ensure that the public has an opportunity. If there are any members of the public who wish to make a comment about this hearing, we can open it up for that. Okay. Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you all.
very much. We'll move to the next agenda item, which is the state financial accountability rating.
Mr. Kohlenberg will share that information.
Good evening. Okay, I'm here tonight to present our annual financial accountability report as of August 31st, 2022. Just as a reminder, the way this works is our data is submitted in January each year. We receive our rating in the fall, that following fall. And so there's about, I guess, almost an 18-month lag from the date of the financials. But just a little background, Senate Bill 218 in 2001 requires each school district to prepare an annual financial accountability report within 2 months of the issuance of our final first rating, first standing for Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas. I'm happy to report that this year we did go up from a above standard achievement to superior achievement, which we did project last year, so that's good news. There's 3 types of indicators. The first 5 are considered critical indicators, and a no response to any of those signals fiscal distress and result in an automatic rating of substandard achievement. The next, 9, 10, are solvency indicators, and the last are financial competence indicators. And we'll run through each indicator briefly. Indicator 1 was the complete annual financial report and data submitted to TEA within 30 days of the January 28th deadline. Yes. Was there an unmodified opinion on the financial statements as a whole? Again, that answer is yes. We received a clean audit. Indicator 3, was the school district in compliance with the payment terms of all debt agreements at fiscal year end? Yes. Did the school district make timely payments to TRS, Texas Workforce Commission, IRS, and other government agencies? Yes. And was the total unrestricted net position in governmental activities in the statement of net position greater than 0? This actually criteria has not been scored since 2017-18 when we had to implement GASB 75, which deals with the district's portion of the TRS pension liability. So this isn't rated for any school district. Was the average change in fund balance over 3 years less than 25%? Or did our current year's assigned and unassigned fund balance exceed 75 days? The answer to that is yes. Indicator 7 was the number of days of cash and current investments in the general fund sufficient to cover operating expenditures. We did score a 10 out of 10 points with 107 days on hand. We did anticipate this would go up last year by 2 points, and it did. Was the measure of current assets to current liability ratio sufficient to cover short-term debt? Yes. We scored a 6 out of 10, which is with 2.3 times more current assets. This was the same score as we received last year. Indicator 9, did the general fund revenues equal or exceed expenditures, or was the number of days of cash on hand greater than 60? This one has not been scored since 2021. Oh, whoops, somehow that didn't work. Yes. There. Did the school district average less than 10% variance when comparing budgeted revenues to actual revenues for the last 3 years? This is the one that hasn't been scored since 2021. And there's a few in here that have not been scored, and they primarily relate to COVID and the impact it had on enrollment or revenues. Indicator 11 was the ratio of long-term liabilities to total assets sufficient to support long-term solvency? Yes. But we only scored 4 out of 10, which is the same as last year. Was the debt service coverage ratio sufficient to meet the required debt service? Yes, we scored 10 out of 10, and we did increase 2 points there as anticipated last year. Was the administrative cost ratio equal to or less than the threshold ratio? Again, yes, we scored 10 out of 10 with a ratio of 4.28%, which is well below the allowable threshold of 8.55%. Did the school district have a 15% decline in student to staff ratio over 3 years? This is another one that hasn't been scored because of the impacts of COVID and on enrollment. Was the school district's ADA within the allotted range of the district's biennial pupil projection submitted to TEA? Again, this wasn't scored since 2021 because of COVID. Did the comparison of PEIMS data to like format in the annual financial report result in a total variance of less than 3%? Yes, ours is statistically at 0. Indicator 17, did the external independent auditor indicate that the AFR was free of any instance of material weakness in internal controls over financial reporting and compliance for local, state, and federal funds? Yes. Did the external independent auditor indicate that the AFR was free of any instances of material noncompliance for grants, contracts, and laws related to local, state, and federal funds? Again, yes. 19, did the school district post the required financial information on our website? Yes. And number 20, did the school board members discuss the property values at a board meeting within 120 days before the district adopted its budget? Again, yes. Then the report has some required disclosures. One, that the superintendent board member travel expenditures are listed. The superintendent did not receive outside compensation for consulting services. Executive officers and board members did not receive gifts exceeding $250. And lastly, the superintendent's contract is included. And then just to point out a couple financial reporting recognitions. From GFOA, we've received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for 17 consecutive years, as well as from ASBO International, we've received the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for 17 consecutive years. And that's it. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kohlenberg. Does the board have any questions? Mr. Bone?
Sure, I'll quickly ask, for the debt service ratio item, are we expecting that to, our score on that to drop back down once we start issuing bond debt again? Because that'll increase the amount of debt we're repaying, but I guess I'm unclear on how that'll affect our actual metric here.
There's the potential that could affect that. I don't expect it for fiscal 23, which the audit is finalizing right now. And fiscal 24, since we'll be selling the debt late in 23, 24, I don't really expect it to have much impact there either. But we'll keep monitoring it. So hopefully we'll gain a couple points somewhere else at some point as well.
Thank you. And I will just comment that, I mean, nothing in here is easy. I mean, like you're answering yes to questions that I think a lot of districts, I mean, we're used to good performance here because y'all have been doing this very well for a very long time. And so I recognize at least, and I'm sure all the other members of the board do, that there's a lot of work that goes into every single one of these. And so thank you for the excellent performance, and I hope we can keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bone. Any other questions or comments by the board? I also want to make sure I open it up to the public if there's any comment. Okay, seeing none, I will just share, Mr. Kohlenberg, thank you. I echo Mr. Bowen's comments and feedbacks. I believe that every opportunity that Dr. Engel and members of the board had to visit campuses as part of our preparation for the bond and for the Vader included feedback to the public about the due diligence that you and staff provide on kind of our fiscal responsibility, that it's not something we do just when we come to the community with big decisions, that it's something that's really a standard that we've set in the district. And so thanks to you and thank you to everyone who really focuses on that when we go into challenging times that sometimes are not as predictable. We are able to kind of stand firmly on the decisions that we've made based on student enrollment and based on the position of the district. And so it is something that we should be extremely proud of, but we're also very thankful for because I do know there are districts around the state that may not be experiencing that right now because things are challenging. And so thank you for all of the information that you provided. I did have just a quick question just for the public. So on the items that you mentioned that they have not been scored since a certain time period, does that mean they are not being counted for or against us in the formula, or is it that they're just not applicable? I just want to make sure.
Well, if they're a yes/no question, they're just not counted at all. I think there's one of them that since they don't rate it at all, you get the automatic 10 points just so it doesn't hurt you. And, you know, some of those will start coming back online at some point. The one that hasn't been rated for years, I'm not sure if they're ever going to do something about that because in that case, everybody has a negative number on their financials for what it's talking about. So I don't know if they're ever going to change it or if they're just going to keep it not grading it for forever. But so I think with time, some more will come back on, which we'll see what that does. But
well, thank you. Thank you
Thanks.
very much. Next item on the agenda is closed session. It is 6:22, and the board will now move to closed session as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.001, concerning purposes permitted by the act, including 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.072, deliberation regarding real property, and 551.074, deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignments, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public employee, or to hear a complaint or charge against an employee. back into open session. The next item on our agenda is Pledge of Allegiance and Texas Pledge.
I believe our Hyde family friends are here. If y'all want to come on up, you can help me with this. Y'all come on up. Wonderful. All right, there's our flags right back here. There we go. Okay, who's going to help us? Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
And please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, so how did y'all get picked for this? Okay, well, and we're going to let you say that a little bit louder.
We do news crew at Hyde Elementary.
Are all of you?
Yes.
Oh,
We're news crew team 4.
news crew team 4. So what do you do on the
3,
news
sorry.
crew? Okay, it's only 3. What do you do on the news crew?
So there's 5 jobs. There's 2, there's scene changer, teleprompter, tech, which also changes the script after everyone leaves. And there's also reporter 1 and reporter 2.
Oh, and which one do you like the best?
Personally, my favorite one is the reporter because, like you're saying all the things and then you got the scene changing behind us with the green screen, so.
Wonderful. Which one do you like?
I also like reporter.
Reporter?
I like tech the most
Oh, why?
because you get to turn on the actual projector, connect it, and you get to make deliveries to classrooms.
Wonderful. Which one do you like?
I like teleprompter.
What's that? You put the information in the teleprompter? Oh, wonderful. Which one do you like?
I like scene changer.
Scene changer. So lots of learning you have. Well, thank you so much. I'm sure you're amazing at it. We really appreciate you helping us with the pledges. Thank you. All right, well, we want to share Hero in the Hallway. It's a very special spotlight. And Clear Creek ISD's Interfaith Collaborative has been a wonderful partnership between schools and places of worship. Tonight, we would like to publicly thank Bay Area Church for making Clear Creek ISD schools a part of their annual Blessing the Bay Area Day. Let's watch a video. I think there's a video.
Hey, I'm Brian Haynes. I'm lead pastor at Bay Area Church and Christian School. And we are doing a project called Blessing the Bay Area with 24 different locations serving all over the League City. Yeah, we decided we just simply wanted to give back to the community. We love being a part of League City. We love partnering actually with big groups like CCISD and are so thankful for what you do. And we just wanted to be hands-on service, relentless love. Those are 2 of our values, and we just wanted to demonstrate those and give back. So for us, the reason we cancel church on Sunday, the regular worship services, and come out and do service projects. And we just want to be kind of hands and feet in the communities, and so that's why we're here today. Our people look forward to it every year. It's one Sunday a year where we try to get out and really give back. And everybody participates from oldest to youngest, and it's really exciting to see. And we always get just incredible feedback from people that it really blesses. So that's the goal, just bless people.
And I'd also like to recognize our very own Ed Hall and Chris Pitts. Are you guys right there? Wave for their teams. So they supported this ambitious undertaking, working hand in hand with Bay Area Church. So through the logistics leading up to the big day and then on that busy Sunday. So we would love to recognize our heroes. So please come forward if you would. Bay Area Church. I don't know if lead pastor is here, Brian Haynes. Discipleship pastor, Eric Davis. Come on up, Eric. Thank you. Pastor Kate Pierce. Sherry Jarvis? Yeah. Oh, Sherry's not here. Okay, Ed and Chris. You're representing Chris. Yes, okay. This is our team.
Y'all could slide over towards the middle. Okay, right here, ready? One more. Thanks.
And just real quick, where was the idea generated from?
About 12 years ago. 12 years ago, we just were trying to turn the focus of our church outward toward the community and started taking a Sunday and just working in the community. So that's where it came from.
We are so grateful that we benefit. Thank you so much. So grateful. Okay, and it is now time for our 2023 holiday card winners. 10 CCISD students from around the district have been selected as the 2023 CCISD holiday card winners. Their artwork has been mailed to more than 900 people. I can tell you selecting the winners is very hard, and I'm honored to have our winners here with us tonight. So when I call your name, and I believe they're coming in from the outside, so when I call your name, please come forward. And if their art teachers and principals are here, please join them, and we'll have everybody come to the front. So first of all, Sophia Dill, 5th grade, Bay Elementary, with Santa Pup. Zoe Gomez, 4th grade at McWhorter with Happy Holidays. Amaria Sevilla, 1st grade at North Point Elementary with Ornaments on a Tree.
Right, stranger danger.
Cindy Kalunga,
Really good for that.
1st grade at Brookwood Elementary with Toy Train, CCISD. Caroline Malik, 8th grade at Victory Lakes Intermediate with Bright Holidays. Zoe Alcantar, 8th grade at Seabrook Intermediate with Holiday Crew. Sylvia Sori, 8th grade at Seabrook Intermediate with Silent Night. Houston Koch, 11th grade at Clear Falls High School, Holiday Snow Globe. Lily McPeace, 9th grade at Clear Falls High School with Merry and Bright. She's sick, but this is Nina, her mom. So that's okay. And finally, Isaac Vellatora, 12th grade at Clear Creek High School, Christmas Cowboy. Okay, Okay, and I had the opportunity of having lunch with these extremely talented students. We had a wonderful time, and they told me who inspired them as far as their artwork and their artistic talent. Before we take a picture, can I ask maybe a couple of you to share? Who inspired you?
I would say that my art teacher and my mom really had a big inspiration on my piece.
My art teacher also inspired me a lot.
Art teacher.
My classmates and my art teacher are my inspirations.
My art teacher.
I knew you'd have something very good.
My art teacher.
Art teacher?
Art teacher.
Art teacher?
Art teacher.
Oh my goodness.
My parents and grandparents.
Yeah, tell them about your grandfather.
So my grandfather is really good at art. He does a lot of Native American drawings.
Isn't that beautiful? Teachers, thank you so much. And students, we so appreciate your work. And I think we need to take a picture.
We could get the students to kind of step forward a little bit, and y'all could come more in, and then the adults fill in the back. Okay, right here, ready? One more.
Thank you all, and congratulations. Because we are so motivated by teachers, and that's just one more example of that. Well, from artists to athletes, CCISD cross-country state qualifiers. We'll give them just a minute. Oh, no, we are good. The artist had to wait a little long time tonight. All right, well now, like I said, we're going from art to athletics. We are so blessed to have such amazing talent here in the district. We're very honored to have two teams and one individual from CCISD represent us at the UIL State Cross Country Meet this year. Clear Lake Boys team placed 14th. Come on in, Clear Lake Boys team. And the Clear Falls girls team placed 12th. Chris Creedon from Clear Creek High School placed 24th. Where's Chris? Right here. Clear Creek colors. Yes, congratulations. And to earn a trip to state, you must finish in the top 4 teams from regionals or be in the top 10 individuals from each region. Notable individual achievements from the teams were Sam Gola with an 8th place finish. Sam, raise your congratulations, Sam. Caitlin Gale qualified for state all 4 years of her high school career. Caitlin, wave. And Madison Hill qualified 3 years for state. Madison, wave. We are very proud of all of our runners and coaches on this outstanding achievement. Congratulations to everyone. And I think we have coaches here, principals, Coach Killingsworth. Yes, is Coach Greer here? Yes, Coach Killingsworth. Anybody else? We have all our principals,
Ask the adults to
coaches.
Come in behind. Students step forward a little bit.
See if I can work my way in a photo. You can.
just very quickly before you sit down, what is the secret of your success? You went to state UIL. Somebody want to share?
Honestly, I think the one thing that really led us to, making it to state and being successful was just teamwork and holding each other accountable. It's really hard to stay motivated and really want to do it when you don't have, your brothers there with you. So I think that's really important, and obviously we have a great team, and honestly, like, these are my best friends and I would consider them my family. So I think, without them, none of this would be possible. So.
One of the girls. Spokeswoman here.
I guess just all of us having known each other for so long and just becoming better friends year after year. The bond builds, and so does our running, I guess. We worked together really hard, and this year was really hard, but we worked really hard and we achieved our goal. So, yeah.
Thank y'all, and congratulations, and coaches, congratulations.
Dr. Engel. Dr. Engel. Trustee Bowen said he's going to pace them. he's going to train with them. Trustee Bowen said he's going to pace them in the fall next year.
Work on that PR.
Okay.
He's going to be the rat.
So I understand Trustee Bowen's going to pace them. And I have no idea. I'm sure their time was amazing. Yes. Yeah. All right. Cross country is a little of a challenge. Yes. Very, very impressive. Well, I'd like to share something too with our connections with art and space. Hura Patch Challenge winner. The next recognition is truly out of this world. Bailey Barnwell, a freshman at Clear Lake High School, was chosen as the winner of the Human Exploration Research Analog Campaign 7 Patch Challenge hosted by Space Center Intermediate. Her patch design was chosen to represent the next 4, and it's Hera. We have the expert. The next 4 Hera missions. Bailey, where are you? Come on up, Bailey. Congratulations. Bailey participated in the competition through her art class against 40 other students from across the country. They were tasked with creating a design that represents Hera's next set of missions. Patches are emblems worn by crews and support staff. HERA at the Johnson Space Center simulates the isolated and confined living environment of a long-duration spaceflight mission, such as a mission to Mars. Peter Storms, her teacher, is also here. Come on up, Mr. Storms. Principal. Do we have a late principal here? Yeah. You get to come back up. I know. Yeah, you get to come back up. So we are just so proud. And Bailey, before we take our picture, her patch is on the screen. Can you explain that just a little bit? What inspired you to create that patch, and what does some of those symbols mean?
What inspired me to create the patch was I have a big interest for NASA and space. I have since I was little, and some of the details of the patch that really stand out that I really like about it. The 2 X chromosomes at the top of the patch represent women going into space in the Artemis 2 mission. And the words around the patch represent the Hera mission and what it stands for. And I used patches or missions from future and past missions to really create the patch.
The Hera mission and the final, I guess, It's going up eventually, you know, once it's the selection. When will that happen? I'm asking.
It will be used.
It will be
Already
used.
in the training facility.
That is so exciting. So all of the Mars missions, and there you are. We are just so proud. And Peter, Mr. Storms, thank you for that so much, for that inspiration. So I think they want to take a picture.
Right, it's kind of scoop towards the middle.
Is that going on again?
Okay, right here, ready? One more.
And finally, Texas PTA theme search finals. We have a lot of nationally recognized students tonight. Every year, the National PTA asks students to help develop the theme for the highly anticipated Reflections program. The selected prompt will then be used to design art, writing, or videos for the national campaign. Of the 880 theme suggestions developed in Texas, only 5 will advance to the National PTA. One of them was developed by Hannah Bergia. Is she here? Hannah, come on up. Her theme, well, I'm going to ask Hannah, what is your theme?
Imagine if.
Imagine if. And the winning theme will be announced in February. And what made you think of Imagine if?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, imagine if. That's a wonderful theme. That is wonderful. So we are excited and looking forward to that final announcement in February. That's exciting. Well, thank you for that. We're going to get a picture, okay?
Okay, right here, ready? One more. Okay, thanks.
Mom and Dad are here. Let's wave. Yes. Thank you all so much for helping with the inspiration. Thank you.
Got it.
We have one more. Oh, sorry. And this is an adult. GFOA Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Clear Creek ISD is once again the recipient of the Government Finance Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. The certificate is the highest form of recognition in government accounting and represents a significant accomplishment by our finance department. Please, Alice Benzai, Jeff Kohlenberg, and your entire financial team, please come forward. We are so proud.
Okay. Ready? One more.
Yeah, so we asked if we're going to ask questions, but we probably wouldn't know the answer because they're finance questions. But I do have one question. How many years in a row? 17 years in a row. Thank you so much. And that speaks to the children, the entire district. Thank you all so much.
Okay. And our next item on the agenda is the district update.
Yes, thank you. And as we close out 2023, it is time to plan for the 2024-25 We're getting very excited about the future. Families and staff are encouraged to cast their vote for the 24-25 academic calendar before it closes on December 22nd. There are 3 options for the public to consider. The 4th special session in Austin has concluded without additional funding for schools. It is unclear whether the governor will call a 5th special session, but we should know much more after the holidays. When we return from the winter break, we will be turning to our community to help dream big with us. We will work on updating our strategic plan, which will kick off with a phone and email survey in January to capture the public's aspirations for the children of Clear Creek ISD. And I'd like to close out the district update with a warm holiday wish for our Board of Trustees, our staff, and our families. It is my hope that you have an opportunity to visit a campus, or that you have had, and you still have a few days left to visit a campus to hear the sounds of the season. We were especially spoiled here at the ESC with student performances during the month of December twice a day. It is overwhelming to experience our talented students and directors from across the district. I would like to thank our visual and performing arts team led by Greg Goodman and Mary Goldner for this amazing opportunity. I'd also like to thank the many community partners, we had an example of this evening, who provided gifts and food for hundreds of children and their families across the district this holiday season. From faith-based organizations to Rotary clubs to local businesses, our community has poured out their hearts to support our students. We know that over 30 community partners have made this holiday brighter for CCISD, and the number continues to grow. Counseling and students and services received another trailer load of donations just this afternoon. So we'll have a final count for you by the end of the week. We look forward to that. So, and just a reminder, the last day of school will be this Thursday, and students will return on January the 9th. And we wish everyone a wonderful holiday.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Engel. The next item on the agenda is community input. The purpose of community input is for the entire board to receive feedback from citizens. The board will hear the public comments but will not respond, except as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, to respond to an inquiry by a member of the public or by a board member with a statement of specific factual information, recitation of existing policy, or to deliberate a proposal to place a subject on the agenda for a subsequent meeting. Matters brought forth that require a response will be addressed by the superintendent as appropriate. All information received is subject to verification. Community input is scheduled for 30 minutes and has 2 forums. Those requesting to address the board in advance of the meeting are granted 3 minutes to address their topics, and those who sign up this evening prior to 6:30 are granted 1 minute. In a district our size, there will certainly be issues or topics which will understandably generate considerable interest from the public. It is important that members of our community be able to address the school board respectfully, without disruption, and without fear of intimidation from other attendees. On behalf of the board, the superintendent, and CCISD staff, we welcome your input during CCISD school board meetings. We request that everyone exhibit the respect and understanding each person rightfully deserves when addressing the school board during the public input portion of the meeting. Our first speaker this evening is Thomas Davis.
Just a week before Christmas, I'd like to thank you to the board and the administration for all you do to support parental authority, teacher pedagogy, and student engagement. As a nation under God, we will continue to thrive only if we pay proper attention to the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. With this thought in mind, I reached out to Franklin Moses. This is a shout out to the Curriculum and Instruction Department. I'll be mentioning 7 individuals. I reached out to Franklin Moses and asked who in the district can tell me what our current Constitution-related curriculum is. He forwarded my question to Robin Sabo, who rewarded my question with 7 paragraphs of details on what's covered in grades 6 through 12, along with links for further research. When I followed up with a question about a book named by the National Education Association, Susan Silva took the time to note that there are 350 books about the Constitution in the CCISD Library Catalog, including a Newbery Awarded title. I am certain that Shannon Simon's leadership in the department is of high quality, given how quickly my question was answered. My shout out also includes Holly Hughes, Angela Stallings, and Robert Branch, who I have learned are departmental colleagues of the folks named above. Our curriculum and instruction department is in good hands. The National Education Association, in partnership with the American Federation of Teachers and Education International, has a strong influence in all American school districts. I did a quick carry of their Read Across America page, and out of 216 recommended books, only one was about the Constitution. I am thankful that CCISD has many more. In a prior public input, I noted the diminished role of parental authority in many school districts across the nation. My research since then has told me that it's a rare district that surveys parents on a continuous basis regarding curriculum. I believe a parental curriculum advisory, or PCA system, could be implemented on Canvas and/or Destiny, which are the existing systems for home-to-school daily interaction. With the voice of parental authority brought into balance with the voice of the National Education Association, the Constitution of our nation, under God, will again reign supreme in the hearts of our parents, teachers, and most importantly, our students. I look forward to shaking the hands of any or all of the district employees I just now thanked. Let's have increased discussion of the Constitution in the home, in the halls and classrooms of our schools, and in the proceedings of the National Education Association. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Next speaker is Brianne Hernandez.
My question is to the board is my son, when he was at Clear Falls High School last year, I reached out to every single one of y'all on the board, and not one of y'all answered what was going on. My son has suffered from bullying from teachers and staff since he was in kindergarten, and now I'm pulling him from your district due to the fact the problem isn't getting any better. He's been moved from one program to another where teachers don't understand autism or OCD. I had a teacher last year when I had a meeting with the principal tell me that she was not going to follow his IEP or his BIP, and she didn't have to because she didn't have time for that. That resulted in an incident of my son being arrested for having autism. Tell me where this is making sense. I don't understand it. I am in debt now, $34,000, because y'all can't follow an IEP or a BIP. I don't get it. 2 weeks prior to this incident, we had a sit-down meeting with the principal and the teacher. And in that meeting, she told me to my face she was not going to follow his BIP or his IEP because she didn't have time. His principal, who was sitting right there, did not say, no, you have to follow this. This is something you have to do. I don't get it. It seems like y'all don't want special needs in your school district at all. And I've talked to 37 different parents from my neighborhood that have all pulled their kids from Clear Falls due to the same reasons I'm pulling my son. For the bullying and the crap that just goes on that, you know, we talk to the principals, we talk to the teachers, nothing ever gets done. I was even told when my son came home talking about wanting to commit suicide because he didn't have a father, this is what these kids were telling him, that he was worthless, that, well, boys will be boys. Tell me where this is making sense. I graduated in '99. Boys will be boys was long gone before I graduated. But I'm being told this by a principal? How is this making sense? If anybody can answer this, like I said, I wrote notes to every single one of y'all. Didn't get an answer, didn't get a response. But I'm now pulling my son from your district due to the same problems over and over again. He's been abused by y'all's school district from the time he was in kindergarten when he was left outside by himself 3 different times. And the teacher's response to me was he didn't come when he was called. He's a 6-year-old. What did you expect? He has autism and ADHD. Did you even think to consider he might not have heard you? You should have gone and gotten him. But she left him outside for 3 hours.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez. We are, this is not a forum for us to respond to your questions, but we will have someone from the district respond to you to make sure that we have followed up.
Okay, because I haven't heard from anybody.
Thank you. Next is Erica Merrill.
My name's Erica Merrill, and I'm here to ask you to reevaluate the formula used to determine the number of choir directors employed in the Clear Lake High School choir program. In particular, I have 3 concerns. 1, student safety. 2, student growth. And 3, our ability to compete with students from other districts. 11 years ago, I chose our home and neighborhood based on the quality of education for ISD. My son graduated from Lake in 2022, and our daughter is now a junior at Lake. Both of our children have been highly engaged in the choir programs throughout their education. But there's a clear difference in the level of education they have both received at Lake choir program. Our son began choir with 2 full-time directors. His junior year, the program was cut to 1 full-time director and 1 half-time director. By the time my daughter began her sophomore year, we were down to 1.3 directors. The district now eliminated 1 full director, and we have 1 brand new director that started this year. The old choir director left to go to another district to get more support, and she now has an assistant. In short, our program has quickly deteriorated from what it was just 6 years ago when my son entered the program. This is no reflection of our new director. Mr. Val has quickly earned the respect of parents and students alike. But he's just one person, and he has 123 choir students. He cannot do the job of 2 people. He teaches 5 different classes that all require separate planning each and every day. He's also responsible for concerts, after-school rehearsals, a varsity jazz ensemble, TMEA All-State, solo and ensemble, fundraising, school activities, parent communication, booster club meetings, and the supervision of student behavior, 1 person. Because choir is made up of different voice parts, the multiple groups of performers, he is called on to direct the singing of 1 group while the other waits. When there's disruptive behavior, he's forced to choose one to deal with. He can't deal with both. He's also has to play the piano and direct at the same time, whereas before we had someone play and someone direct. It's not a matter of having someone else direct. It's a matter of having somebody handle disruptive behavior. When the choir takes 2 buses to a competition, he can only be in 1 of them. It's hard to stand by and watch the program fall apart. Our students once benefited from individual and prescriptive feedback and additional after-school rehearsals. The additional attention created growth in the program and increased opportunities for advancing through the all-state process. As you do this, you're more likely to get scholarships from colleges. Unfortunately, our Sound Waves Choir Elite Varsity program is suffering the consequences of the staffing shortage. The group's performances were once anticipated throughout the community. Membership in the group was considered a great privilege, and this made the program more visible to the community, and it drove enrollment. This year, we've had to cut their showcase performances.
Ms. Merrill, I'll ask if you would please share any of the remaining written comments that you have
Yes.
with the board, just because of your time has.
No problem. I'm happy to do it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
The next speaker this evening is Sarah Newman.
Oh, can I finish my comments?
I'm sorry, no. We have 3 minutes, which is
Okay.
what you were provided.
So
but
Lake
if-
is a winning school and prides itself in athletics and band. The district would do well to prioritize choir as well. So it's disappointing that a competitive school district such as ours is falling behind our neighbors such as Alvin, where they have multiple directors of their students.
Thank you, Mrs. Miro.
Thank you for your time.
Sarah Newman. Kevin Black. And Leah Compton. Okay, I'll just ask one more time just in case. Sarah Newman, Kevin Black, and Leah Compton. That closes our community input. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is action on closed session items.
Mr. President,
Mr. Bowen?
I move that the Board of Trustees approve the purchase of a parcel of land consisting of approximately 15 acres located within the Westland Ranch development in Galveston County, Texas, to be used for district facilities and related purposes, and authorize the superintendent or her designee to negotiate and execute a final sale and purchase agreement, as well as any related necessary amendments, closing documents, and other post-closing documents.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand, please. And it passes unanimous. Thank you. Next item.
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Larson?
I move that the board adopt the recommendation of the superintendent to elevate Dr. Sharon Lopez to the position of Executive Director of Secondary Education.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Did you want any comments?
Yes, yes, just to make a comment, yes, thank you. Dr. Lopez has over 23 years of experience in education, including head principal at Clearbrook High School, associate principal at Clearbrook High School, head principal at Seabrook Intermediate, and she's been an assistant. She's also been in Pearland ISD, head softball coach and teacher in that school district. She brings obviously a vast amount of experience to this position, and we are fortunate that she has agreed to consider this. And I personally would like to thank Dr. Michelle Staley for actually recruiting her from Pearland and bringing her to Clear Creek ISD.
Thank you, Dr. Engel. Any questions or comments by the board?
I'd just echo that with Dr. Lopez's experience at the intermediate and at the high school level. I think she's going to do fine in following behind Dr. Branch. So,
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other comments?
I'd just like to say that Brook is my neighborhood school, so I've had numerous opportunities to collaborate with Dr. Lopez, and I'm very pleased that she's accepting this position.
Fantastic. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. It passes unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Engel. Next item on the agenda is consent agenda. Is there any items that anyone would like to pull?
Mr. President?
Mr. Cunningham?
Seeing no items to pull, I move that the board adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. And it passes unanimous. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is consider approval of use of capital project funds for facility-related projects.
Good evening. So I have today to consider approval the use of capital project funds for two facility-related projects. So the first project is for $100,000, and it is to make foundation repairs at League City Intermediate, and the repairs are scheduled to be completed during this Christmas break. During the summertime, with all of the dry weather, the school experienced some pretty severe cracking in the walls and the floors. We were kind of hoping that when the rains came in, some of the foundation would fix itself. Not, it actually got worse. So we are now at the position where we need to do something. The cracks in the walls are severe enough where you can actually see inside through the walls. We had to temporarily seal them because one of them was through a locker room. And so this repair, we feel confident will bring the elevation back up and fix the cracks. The second one is for $20,000. And that is previously in September, we came and asked for some funding to add some extra security to the superintendent's office suite, curtain walls, and the legal office as well, the storefront walls. Our original plan was to change out just the doors and add card readers and buzzers. After doing some further investigation, the system itself being as old as it is, we can't just do a door swap. So this extra funds are to replace both storefronts. This being that storefront systems are pretty long lead times, we're anticipating that this work probably will be done during summertime. In the meantime, we understand the importance also of doing something with the vestibule in the front. So we will be looking at options too. So eventually I'll probably be back here asking for more funding for the vestibule part, and then we would tie all the projects together for the summertime.
Okay, thank you. Any questions by the board? Mr. Cunningham?
Mr. Aragon, I know a couple years ago we replaced the windows. In terms of replacing the doors, what are you proposing?
So these are the inside doors.
Okay.
So we didn't do anything with those doors. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace both of the storefronts on the inside.
Gotcha.
And we will come back with the security film on the windows and the doors as well on the inside.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Mr. Aragon, and I think what you're describing also is in line with some of the safety measures that we've taken for our campuses, ensuring that the spaces are safe in the event of an emergency, and we needed to ensure people inside would be safe, recognizing that our lobby is open for the public to come in. And so we thank you for continuing to focus on all of the areas where our staff and students are. If there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President.
Mr. Cunningham.
I move that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation to use capital project funds of $120,000 for facility-related projects.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other questions or comments by the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll please raise your right hand. And it passes unanimous. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is for information and discussion. Mr. Palazzi.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you all tonight. I just actually wanted to thank Mr. Miller, Mr. Aragon for their support in our safety initiatives. You know, we're able to collaborate and for the betterment of our students and staff. As is the case with all independent school districts in Texas, the TEA has taken over safety, and throughout the year they do sporadic safety audits. Every time they come through our district, it's an opportunity for us to learn and to grow and to reevaluate our procedures and protocols based upon their findings. So, you know, when we have findings, when they come through, which we've had findings, we're able to reevaluate what we do and continually grow with regard to safety and security. They had come through this past month, or actually this month, and made some recommendations for us. I was able to share with you, and we've instituted protocols already to combat some gaps that we did have.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Palazzi. Any other questions or comments by the board?
No.
Mr. Cunningham.
Brian, I just wanted, as you get around and as Dr. Engel gets around, please let staff know. A lot of us on the board have had the opportunity to visit our schools, whether it's some of the elementaries, intermediates, high school, and you can definitely tell that the safety protocols, getting into the building, and our SLOs are doing a heck of a job. So please, from the board, if you could just relay that to staff, that we really appreciate what they're doing and keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Mr. Bone?
Yeah, I just want to add to that. Being able to finally be on the security committee and kind of see everything that y'all deal with, I think an important thing for our community to know is the amount of attention to detail that goes into all of the small things. And that's where a program like this really succeeds, is we don't wait for big events to happen, for big problems to occur. It's the day in, day out, not just auditing entrances and making sure that the building envelope is safe, but constantly building relationships with students, acting on the reports that they give and the information that they give y'all about things that may be happening. I mean, it's a very comprehensive approach, and it's just built out of thousands of little interactions and improvements every week and every month and all the time. And so when we think about the industry I work in is the chemical industry, and it's much the same way, where when the little problems are being addressed and the little incident, the small incidents that you don't even think about are being acted on, that's how you prevent the big things from occurring. And so just every time we get one of these reports, that's continually impressed upon me, and I think everybody, that you really do pay attention, you really do act on all of the information you get, and that's how you're keeping everyone safe. And so I appreciate it, and I hope everyone knows how much it is appreciated.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bone. Any other comments, questions?
Yeah, for the community, I would like to say that, we do get these findings behind closed doors, and there are occasional minor escapes, I'll call them, where something is found out of place, or something is not as we would want it. And I just wanted to emphasize that there are literally thousands of doors in this school district, and we never hear about the thousands of doors that are found locked every day, every time there's an audit. We only hear about the escapes, and there are very, very few of them, and I'm very impressed with the work that's being done to close off those few escapes and make our schools even safer every day.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. I think the number is 4,000 exterior doors, roughly.
Give or take.
Give or take a few. And so I do echo the comments. We do know that as we manage safety in our own homes, and we know wear and tear, that Houston's weather and humidity is also not forgiving. And so we appreciate the daily focus on ensuring that all of the doors are shutting properly and locking properly. And we appreciate this update and continued focus on safety across the
Mr.
district.
President,
Yes,
I
Mr.
just
Daly.
wanted to clarify on Mr. Trustee Larson's comment that majority of those doors are maintenance doors that at some of our schools don't even provide access to the school, but that's how strict the audit is.
Correct.
And so they're catching those doors. They aren't catching the doors that actually lead to the school, because those are locked. So
I do.
So I just wanted to clarify that.
I appreciate Trustees Bowen's mentioning of y'all's thought process of the amount of detail that is focused upon to make sure we're safe at scale.
And I want to echo Trustee Cunningham's remark. The auditors aren't finding ways into the buildings that would harm students so much as they're finding ways into spaces that really don't lead to anywhere, blind alleys. But even those, we're making sure that that unwanted people aren't there when they're not supposed to be.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Blasey.
Thank you.
And with no further items on the agenda, we'll adjourn at 8:21.